Hey everybody, we're going to be doing a video and we're going to see if we can do this in 4K. And what we're going to be doing, we're going to be talking about the top 4 reasons people reject atheism. These are 4 stupid things that atheists believe in. You know, atheists believe in some really stupid things. Look at this beautiful day that we're having here in California, and you have the sun, you have the trees, you have the beautiful sky, and just this massive universe. And the atheists want us to believe there was a massive explosion, and all of this came about by sheer dumb luck and chance, with no guidance. If it's not guided, then it's chance. So let's get into some of the stupid things atheists believe in, and we're going to debunk them all. Here we go. We're going to talk about 4 stupid things atheists believe in. These are some things that cause people to really reject the stupidity of atheism. We're going to talk about the atheist view on objective morality. We're going to talk about what atheists think about the fine-tuning of the universe. We're going to talk about how atheists are presuppositionalist. And then, of course, we're going to talk about why atheists suck in debates. And here we go. And before we begin, did you see that shocking video where Michael Shermer, atheist Michael Shermer, talks about how Christopher Hitchens went to hell? I'm going to show you the video right below this video when you're done. Go check it out. And Michael Shermer is joking around about how Hitchens went to hell and how he's going to go to hell. Michael Shermer, he's admitting he's going to hell. And he says that they're going to party in hell. This is what they say. Let's see what this guy's riding on. Well, we're going to turn right here. So we are on the Yamaha R1, which is a product of Intelligent Design. We got another guy on a motorcycle coming up here, so let's see what he's on. We'll take this kind of slow. But let's start off with how Michael Shermer said Christopher Hitchens died and went to hell. So they're not even denying it. He said that he's going to party with Christopher Hitchens in hell. Where do these atheists get? Here comes the motorcycle guy up here. Where do the atheists get this idea that hell is a fun place? Where do they get this? And why is this guy on the motorcycle going so slow? So after this video, click below this one you're watching in the description box here, and you have Michael Shermer saying, yeah, Christopher Hitchens is in hell, and I'm going to hell, he says, and we're going to party in hell. So they admit that they're going to hell. When he says that Christopher Hitchens is going to hell, the crowd goes, oh, and then the guy went the other way after all that. The crowd goes, oh, man, like they couldn't believe he's joking around about such a horrible thing. You know, the #1 person in world history, #1 most famous person in world history is Jesus Christ. And do you know he warned of hell that it was a bad place? He didn't say it was a place of partying. So I don't know where dodo bird atheist Michael Shermer gets this, but let's begin. Now, hold on. I gotta get in front of this guy because it's merging. Let's talk about the first stupid thing that atheists say, and we're going to talk about, you ever notice how atheists suck in debates? They're horrible in debates. They absolutely suck. And I'm going to talk to you about that. Well, let's talk about that right now before we get into the list. Okay. I have debated, very humbly speaking, as I bow my head to the ground here. Okay. Literally to the ground practically with this thing here. Hold Hold on. Let's bow my head very low to the ground. Very, very low. I have debated and defeated over 75 atheists. I'll put these debates below. I won't put all of them, but you can find them at the ShockofGod channel. And I figured out why atheists suck in debates. Because they don't debate. They come to the debate, but they don't debate. Let me explain. So, what the atheists will do is they will be presuppositional atheists in debate. And this is kind of like one of the things here on the list. What is a presuppositionalist? A presuppositionalist is someone that starts off with the idea that they're right. They just start off with the idea they're right and they don't provide any proof and evidence. Now, I'm a Christian, but I'm not a presuppositionalist. I believe that Christians are right, and there's nothing wrong for a Christian to be a presuppositionalist, and we'll tell you why in a moment. But atheists cannot be presuppositionalists, and I'll tell you why. Less than 5% of the world population are atheists. What the heck? This guy goes right, then he cuts in front of me. Less than 5% of the world population are atheists. So the default position is not atheism. So this is one of the reasons why atheists suck in debate. They approach atheism as if the whole world believes like they do. And the majority of the world are theistic. So the burden of proof, if you want to move someone from one position to another, you need to carry a burden of proof, and you need to approach atheism without being a presuppositionalist. So what do I mean by that? Well, atheists will go into debate and they'll just deny, well, I disagree with what the other side's saying. Whoever they're debating, that's what they do. They just disagree. They say, I disagree. Well, big whoopee-doo. Who the hell do you think you are, Mr. Atheist? Or Mrs. Atheist? Why should we believe you just because you disagree with something? That's the reason why we should believe that atheism is true. The Atheist Experience Show has a big problem because that's how they do it. They will say, well, we disagree that God exists. Well, who the hell are you to say God doesn't exist? You got to have something more than just your opinion. You can't be a presuppositional atheist. Now, below this video, you're going to see a video where Matt Dillahunty from the failed Atheist Experience Show is in a debate, and the Christian are asking him, well, where's your proof and evidence that atheism is accurate and correct? Are you claiming that God doesn't exist? And the atheists say, well, no, I'm just saying I disagree with the claim God exists. See how wimpy they are? So the reason why atheists suck in debate, they won't give any arguments against God's existence. This is why they always lose debates. I've had over 75 debates with atheists. You can see them below here. Every one of them they've lost, and I'm going to tell you why, because there are certain rules in debate. For example, if I bring up 15 arguments for God's existence, and you bring up 15 arguments against God's existence, which I strongly suggest if you're an atheist, you do that, because you don't want to be going into a debate and just saying you disagree with the other side, because you're going to lose the debate. Look at all these donkeys out there. Speaking of atheists, jackasses. So, we love the jackass, we love the donkey, we love the atheist. We pray that they don't do what Michael Shermer. I can't believe Michael Shermer said that Christopher Hitchens is in hell. Check out that video below here. But anyways, If you go into a debate, my atheist friends, bless your sweet, cuddly little hearts. If you go into a debate with the Christian, and the Christian has 15 arguments for God's existence, and you say, nope, I disagree with that. Nope, I disagree with that one. Nope, I disagree with that one. And that's all you're saying, you've lost the debate. Not only do you have to give arguments against God's existence, you have to debunk the other arguments and say why they're wrong. I'm sorry if you don't like the rules of the debate, my sweet, cuddly, huggable, lovable atheist friends. But those are the rules. That's how debates work. So if someone's keeping tally on a debate, and every time the Christian has arguments and you have no arguments, and every time the Christian, hold on a second, the sand right here is very dangerous. And every time the Christian says these arguments without you even addressing them or debunking them or coming up with arguments against God's existence, you're going to lose the debate. That's how the rules go. If Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton are debating, and Trump's bringing up all these arguments why Hillary should not be president, why Hillary's a liar, and all these things, and Hillary doesn't debunk it, it still stands. But if she can prove certain things, like let's say Donald Trump says he never filed bankruptcy, which Donald Trump did. Nothing wrong with that. But let's say Donald Trump said he never filed bankruptcy. Now Hillary can say, well, wait a minute, you did file for bankruptcy, and she can give evidence for that. By the way, you know Donald Trump is the richest president in world history, richest president of the United States. So this is why atheists lose debates. They take the coward's way out. Atheists, I say this with no malice in my heart, they are cowards. When they come into a debate, they're so cowardly. All they'll do is say they disagree with what you're saying, but they won't offer any arguments against God's existence. Why? Remember what I said at the start of this video? They're presuppositionalists. And by the way, we're going up to some really nice, fast, twisty roads. I can't wait. So, atheists approach the topic of does God exist with their presupposition, no, God doesn't exist, and they don't give any arguments for that. The problem is if an atheist says, I disagree God exists because there's no evidence for that, and I as a Christian talk about why I left atheism because there's no evidence for that. There's no evidence, by the way, that atheism's true. There's no arguments at all. But then I bring up the ontological argument, the cosmological argument, the teleological argument, the historic Jesus Christ, the argument from miracles, the argument from the world as an interacting whole, and I can go on and on and on. Look at my arguments right below this video where it says 20 arguments for the existence of God. And man, that was a big bump. And you bring up nothing? I've won the debate. This is why Christianity is the largest force in the world for good. Christianity is winning, atheism is losing. I know my atheist subscribers, you hate to hear that. You guys are losing. Christianity much larger. Christianity and the evidence of Christianity has convinced more people than atheism has. This is why Christianity is the largest force for good. Why? I'm saying they have more evidence, they have more proof, it makes more rational sense. This is why, in my opinion, no one is, except kids. Kids tend to be atheists. No one is choosing atheism. Look at this beautiful snow-capped mountain. All right, so let's go through the list. Objective morality. In one of the debates below this video, the Christian asked the atheist, is it wrong to torture toddlers for fun? And the atheist says, Well, I wouldn't do it. And the Christian repeats, is it objectively wrong? Even if someone's a psycho and they think there's nothing wrong with it, is it still wrong? In other words, objective morality means something is wrong even if the whole world disagreed. In other words, torturing toddlers for fun is wrong even if 90% of the world agrees it's wrong and 10% agrees it's okay. And torturing toddlers for fun is wrong even if 100% of the world became real evil and they believe that there's nothing wrong with it. It's still wrong. That's what objective morality means. So the atheist has to say there is no objective morality. All right, let's get on it. 3 miles away from the twisties. See this little map right here with all these twisties here? Can't wait. So in the debate, I was in a debate with an atheist named Mickey on the radio. You can hear it below. And in this one part of the debate, I said, don't you agree that rape is always wrong? Objectively, no matter what? And he said, well, no. And he fell into my trap. So if you're debating an atheist and they say no, excuse me, say, okay, give me one instance, just one, of where rape is okay. And he stuttered and stammered, and he couldn't give me an instance. You know, we're on live radio, so, you know, he's not going to be an idiot and come up with some, you know, reason why, you know, rape would be okay. So, anyways, so he says, well, and I said, just one instance. Just give me one instance when it's okay. And he goes, well, and I kept pushing him, and he said, okay, rape is never okay. He admitted that that's objective morality. That is objective morality. It's never okay. So when you look in the debates below this video, atheists will say, hold on a second. Thought I ran over something. Atheists will say that there's no such thing as objective morality. Well, then rape would be okay on atheism. Torturing toddlers for fun would be okay on atheism. This is why atheism is a bankrupt, evil worldview. I just want to say, I know you don't know me and stuff, but if you're an atheist, you're sinning. It's a sin to be atheist. Why? Where do all these objective truths come from? Well, why, for example, is homosexuality wrong? Because God is pure. Why is it wrong to lie to your boyfriend or girlfriend or to your parents? Because God is truthful. God is truth. Why is it wrong to torture toddlers for fun? Because God is love. Why do we have to be responsible for our actions? Because God is a righteous God. So on objective morality, atheists always fail there. They only have two options because they cannot ground objective morality on atheism. They either have to admit there's nothing wrong with all these things, like right below this video, this guy was in a debate, right? This Christian's debating this atheist, and he said, so what if someone went home and murdered your wife and kids? Is there anything objectively wrong with that? And the evil atheist says, no, there's nothing objectively wrong with it. That's good for him. This is the evil of atheism. You cannot have a society be a good society if it was atheist, because on atheism, murdering someone's wife and kids, it's not really objectively wrong. It's just an opinion. It's one blob of cells harming another blob of cells. If you're an atheist, you're sinning. Very, very sinful. Go, 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 go. I'm like an inch away from this person. All right, the fine-tuning of the universe. This is amazing. The universe goes ahead and God creates the universe the Big Bang, which is sort of the theory that everyone's believing right now, it explodes, it's expanding, the universe is expanding, and that means the universe had a beginning. So you see this Toyota truck in front of me, it says Legend on it. This truck didn't create itself. Something outside of that truck created it. This motorcycle didn't create itself. Something outside of it created it. Anything that begins to exist has a cause, and we know the universe began to exist, so therefore the universe has a cause. It makes sense that if life comes from non-life, then there must be something that was always living, because we cannot have an infinite regress of causes. Something must always have lived. It didn't need to be created, because if your parents created you, unless of course you're a test tube baby, but if your parents created you and their parents created them, and you go back and back and back in time, and we know the universe had a beginning, we know that. So there must be, in this set of dominoes where one thing creates another, one thing creates another, since we know the universe had a beginning, there must be something that always existed that cannot not exist, and that thing is God. But on the fine-tuning, are we to believe that all these fine-tuned constants, you know, the distance we are from the sun, the power of gravity, the strength of gravity, the weak nuclear force. Look right below here for a list of the fine-tuned constants. If all these things were not just right, we would have no life here on this planet. And am I to believe that out of chaos, look at those beautiful mountains, am I to believe out of chaos we get order? Out of chaos, a massive explosion, we get all this design? This is another reason why people reject really the stupidity of atheism. It's so stupid. We always see something designing something else. There's a guy on YouTube, he's just, I don't mean this as a personal attack, but by the way, here's our twisties. It's real stupid. This guy on YouTube is the atheist voice. And he says, we don't have design. He says, that's like the hole saying it was designed for the puddle to go into it. A puddle in a hole, you cannot compare water in a hole to the complexity of the eye. You ever notice they never give you anything complex? They always give you something basic, like water in a hole. If you're trying to say that water going in a hole is the exact same thing as our respiratory system or the fine-tuning of the universe, that's dishonest. And this is why atheists suck in debates. What's the next thing? After we take this corner, I'll show you. Finally, we're going to pick up speed. Oh, yeah. Okay. Let's attack these corners. Watch this. So what I do is I kind of go left side, then I cut in on the right without braking on the inside like that. So, I used to be an atheist, but I can share with you some of the reasons why I left the madness of atheism. Number one, please don't hold it against me for being such an idiot that I was an atheist. I was a kid, okay? Give me a break. Give me time to grow up. Some of us grow up and we grow out of atheism. There is a time to take off those tough skin jeans and put on some good American Levi's and grow up. And I grew up. You know, I left the madness of atheism. But here's some reasons why I left atheism, and maybe you could click share and send this to your brainwashed atheist friends. Number one, there is no proof and evidence that atheism is accurate and correct. Okay, we're going to go kind of slow here so I can pick up speed. I'm going to show you guys the acceleration of the R1. You ready? No one's behind me. Hold on. We're going to go a little bit slow over these little railroad tracks. And here we go. We're already at 55. So if someone said, give me some proof and evidence that atheism is accurate and correct, I had nothing. What could I give? What could I say? I can't talk about the world around me proving atheism is true because there's too much design in it. DNA. The fine-tuned universe. I can't deny that Jesus Christ is a historic person. What do I have? What reason do I have to be an atheist? There's none. Give me one. If you're an atheist, here's a challenge to you. You're probably going to be too cowardly to accept this challenge. Because most atheists are cowards. I'm just saying. They're presuppositionalist cowards. Here's my challenge. If you're an atheist, if you know an atheist, I was going to say that's a smart atheist, but that's an oxymoron. A bold atheist. Click share below this video and send it to them. And here's my challenge. Give me some proof and evidence. What proof and evidence is there that would finally at last prove that atheism is accurate and correct? What is there? Convince me. Why should I believe that atheism is true? Why should I believe all this is due to dumb luck and chance? I dare you. I lay down the gauntlet if you're an atheist. I dare you to make a video that addresses the 2019 Atheist Challenge. What proof and evidence can you provide that finally would prove that atheism is accurate and correct? You think an atheist would get the Nobel Peace Prize for proving that God doesn't exist, but alas, none of them have gotten it. Some type of award. You know how they always say atheism's the peaceful view. One more time on the challenge. What proof and evidence can you provide that proves atheism is accurate and correct? I dare you. I double dog dare you. I challenge you. Give me a reason why I should be atheist. Give me some proof. Give me some evidence. There's nothing there. But anyways, back to this. So when I was an atheist, I had some Christian friends, and they would talk to me like, you know, most atheists think evolution proves that God doesn't exist, but it doesn't. Evolution only talks about how things change once they're created. God creates a system for living organisms to live on, and you're talking about the system that God already created. That doesn't impress me. Evolution doesn't impress me. You're just talking about how things change over time. I want to know, how did they get there in the first place? It is the classic chicken and egg dilemma. So, those are the four reasons why atheists really suck in debate. Number one, they're presuppositionalists. If I'm saying I left atheism because there's no evidence, and then I bring up all these other arguments, over 20 of them, and you say you're not a Christian because there's no evidence, I've won the debate. Because at least I'm bringing up arguments. We're both saying we disagree with the evidence, but you got to bring up arguments. You've got to do that. Okay, let's attack this corner. Ready? Let's go. It's kind of like dirt right here. Let's see. I love going through this tree tunnel right here. It's so cool. I've tried to think of, you know, something that an atheist can use to try to convince me that God doesn't exist. They don't have anything. You know what they'll say, but it actually has the reverse effect. They'll say, well, any God that would flood the world is not a God that I would want to worship. I'm like, you're really not doing a good job at convincing me there's no God. You're just confirming it even more. And if God is the creator of life, does not he have the right to take life? If I'm on the motorcycle right now and God decides that it's my time for a Mack truck to hit me head on, does he not have that right to do that? Is he not the author of life? Does not he own my life? All right, you ready? Here we go. Let's pass this guy here. One of the things about leader bikes, this is a R1 that you'll love, is you never say, oh, I wish there was more power. Why does it say be prepared to stop? I can pass this guy on the dotted line, which is what we're going to do. Ready? We're going to slingshot around. Here we go. Go, 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 go. Oh, such a rush. I'm challenging the atheists. I've been begging them, give me some proof and evidence that atheism is accurate and correct. Now, you can't say atheists are higher because you, my atheist friends, have the highest suicide rate in the world. But can I leave you with one thing? The atheist Achilles heel. And what I mean by that is atheists always forget their inevitable end on the worldview of atheism. On atheism, they will always say that they are working to create a utopia for the world. They say the world would be better without religion, and we're going to create this wonderful world for our species. But let's compare their world with the Christian world. On the Christian world, God steps in and he creates a new heaven and a new earth, and he saves humanity. But on the atheist world, there is no God, they claim. So we already know that the universe is dying and everyone in the universe is going to die. All humanity will die. There will be no escape from the death of the universe. It's like a clock, it's winding down. So on atheism, what did you accomplish? Zero. Zero. You accomplished nothing. Because any good you did, no one's going to remember it. Any utopia or anything you tried to create for the better, no one's going to remember it because everyone's dead. God didn't step in and save the universe like Scripture says he's going to do. There's a scripture that says unless God stepped in and saved mankind, no flesh would be saved. So I could understand on Christianity we have an objective purpose because we live on through eternity. But on atheism, not what I say, what they say, the universe dies, everything dies, and it was all for nothing. It was madness. Do you get what I'm saying, you guys? If atheism were true, which it's not, but let's go with what they're saying, then everything's in vain. Nothing matters. Because you could say, well, I'm going to create a good life for my kids. And then your kids are going to say, well, I'm going to try to save up a lot of money and create a good life for their kids. But in the end, it's all in vain because the universe dies and everyone inside it dies, and no one even remembered what you did. So it's like a big waste of time. So when I hear these atheists dishonestly saying that they're going to create a great world, not on their world they're not, because science has already said that, unless God steps in, of course, science has already said that the universe is dying and everything will die. On Christianity, you have hope. On atheism, you have madness. That's my story, and I'm sticking with it. God bless you guys. I love you. Have a great week. Let's get on this freeway on-ramp here. This is going to be fun. Throw it to the right. Come on. I just want to go. So I want to show you what I love about motorcycles. Watch how fast we get into the carpool lane. They do allow you to go into the carpool lane in California. So ready? We'll do it safely, yet quickly. And that's it. Have a great week, you guys. God bless you. Remember, friends don't let friends be atheists.